On immigration, which you've mentioned, most people seem to think that you can tighten up the border. And for the untold millions who are here illegally that you referred to, you've talked about a mass deportation program. How is that practically possible? Because a lot of the millions of people have had children here who are American citizens. And don't you think the first time there is an image on television of a family tearfully being told to board a bus, that whole program would end?
That's right. If you take a young woman with two beautiful children and you put her on a bus and it ends up on the front page of every newspaper, it makes it a lot harder.
So yes to mass deportation, even of women and children.
So we're going to look at
on.
it very closely. The way you phrase it is exactly right. You put one wrong person onto a bus or onto an airplane, and your radical left lunatics will try and make it sound like the worst thing that's ever happened. But we're getting the criminals out, and we're going to do that fast, and we know who they are. And the local police know their names, and they know their serial numbers. They know everything about them.
What is a human serial number? He just said the police know these people's serial numbers. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Let's keep on moving.
We work with the local police, the local law enforcement, which is great all throughout the country. But we have to get, look, we have people, we have murderers that have been let into our country. They're not going to get better. We have people that are insane, that their mental institutions are, the mental institutions all over the world have a much lower population, and in many cases, they've been emptied out. The jails are down to much lower numbers, and soon they'll be emptied out. They're emptying out into the United States of America. We're not a dumping ground. We're going to get all of those people out, and we're going to get them out fast.
You got to do what you got to do. You got to get these people back where they came from. You have no choice. You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your country. You're going to have crime, the likes of which nobody has ever seen before.
Now. Okay, what does that tell you? That is so scary.
Then I have to sit there and listen to her bullshit last night. And who puts it on? Fox News, and they shouldn't be allowed to put it on. It's all lies.
And a bad person.
They shouldn't be
But she's
allowed.
incompetent, grossly incompetent. She's a Marxist. You're right. She's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor.
You can barely hear, but someone yelled out, "She's stupid."
Professor?
Talking about a fly?
Remember,
Think
there's
of
a hat that's made that sells like crazy. Oh, there's a fly. Oh, I wonder where the fly came from. See, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have had a fly up here. You're changing rapidly.
Why? Because you smell like
can't work.
now, as Adam Kinzinger.
I mean, go and take a look at Springfield. Go and take a look. And the governor's a Republican. He's a nice man. I helped him very much. Without me, he wouldn't have been elected. But he's taken an attitude like, oh, isn't it wonderful? And if we can, we'll go back to the last one, too, if we're allowed. But we're going to prosecute people, so at least they know that's going to happen. And I said that because we have to have strong borders. You need two things, strong borders and fair elections. And we have neither, but we're going to do numbers too big to read, right? Too big to read.
And
no thanks to you.
outsourced, we're going to outsource and outscore other public school districts. So they want to start off by competing against certain public school districts, and I guess that's a good place to start. The Green New Scam is one of the greatest, most difficult things to be watching.
And as we're dealing with the devastating effects of Hurricane Helene, Donald Trump is saying that climate change is not real. Play the clip.
Because global warming wasn't working, because the planet's actually gotten a little bit cooler recently. But climate change covers everything. It can rain, it can be dry, it can be hot, it can be cold. Climate change, everything is, look, and I believe I really am an environmentalist. I've gotten environmental awards, but I want clean, beautiful air and clean, beautiful water. That's all. Crystal clean waters aren't included, or the app, where they have an app that's being used by the cartel leaders, the people that making billions of dollars. the cartel leaders, think of this, call the app, and they say where to drop the illegal migrants.
Donald Trump
Amazingly,
then
this is
said
one of the
that this
biggest hurricanes anyone's ever seen. It's late in the season, very unusual. I guess the water was 20 feet high, and nobody expects that. People go up to their house and they think they're safe on the second floor, and they weren't safe.
centuries ago, when you're spreading disinformation,
Inflation
about-
is devastation. Inflation is country busting. It breaks countries. Look at Germany from centuries ago. Look at other countries, whether it's centuries ago or
Play the clip.
decades ago. Kamala
when
and
we
the
started
radical
the
left
latest
Democrat
budget
Party want to keep black and Hispanic children trapped in family government. I mean, I think that's really the reason. I think that a state like Iowa and Idaho and Indiana, I think you'd end up. I was looking at him the other night, just from common sense, with a party of common sense. And then I said, more than anything else now, with a party of common sense, because that's more important than anything
Gender
else.
change, play it.
Can you imagine that your child leaves for school and comes home and their gender has been changed? I don't want to get into the details, but it's not even believable. Without
And Donald Trump is doing this as he's now backed out of a speech with 60 Minutes. He's too afraid, apparently, to speak with 60 Minutes.